Oh. 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 Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. The Niagara Regional Police Service has started an initiative called the Police Chiefs Inclusion Council. And this focuses on nurturing equity, diversity, and inclusion in the Niagara region. My good fortune has brought me to this council. And yesterday we had a meeting where a social service organization that helps the marginalized population in our region that tend to be addicted to drugs. They were sharing their observations, and what they had shared was in 2018, around 180 people died due to overdoses. That grew by 50% the next year and 50% the next year. And they said that trend is not changing for 2021. And what left all of us who were on this council most moved was a statement that shared, these people that we project are addicts don't just wake up and turn to drugs. It's not a, now I love heroin. This is a socio-economic problem. Socio, they don't have the awareness that you and I may have. Economic, they don't have the opportunity that you and I may have. And the import of that statement was, this is everyone's responsibility. Not just a social service organization, but rather everyone who's participating in society, like us, everyone who's benefiting from the economy, like us. Meaningful Mornings is a workshop to think deeply about meaning and to commune deeply with that meaning, with your vision changed, with your lifestyle changed, so that more people don't have to die. We're using this word death in a very theoretical way, but people are dying. When we escape from our responsibilities, we cannot evolve. When we procrastinate with our responsibilities, we cannot evolve. And so Sri Krishna is encouraging Prince Arjuna that this is not an option to escape or procrastinate. You need to engage in your responsibilities. Forget about the dishonor from the people who are fighting against you, even the people you respect. When you don't engage in your responsibilities, you are dishonoring your creator who has provided you this opportunity to evolve, to come back to your infinite nature. If you remember when we flowed through Tips for Happy Living, the third chapter was entitled Empowerment. And I shared with you a series of summaries. One of those series was steady hand success. How this relates to Bhagavad Gita? What's in front of you, make sure your head is where your hands are. The next summary, part to whole. And this is what I want to emphasize, because some of you may be feeling dharma this, dharma that, engage your responsibilities. Why do we need so many verses about this? Number one, if you're escaping or procrastinating, we do need more verses about this, more reminders. More so, your dharma is you holding a puzzle piece and placing this into the puzzle, not just for you, but for family, community, society, humanity, divinity. Every one of us has to play our part. And the next summary in the sequence was, be your best. In yesterday's satsang on success versus fulfillment, I shared, success is determined by your inner orientation. And if success is, definitely fulfillment is. So the best is not determined externally, it is determined internally. And there's so many implications with this. Number one, you stop feeling jealous. Those who externalize success are always jealous. This is exhausting. More will be shared. We now reach verse 37, which is the completion of no responsibility and nearing the completion of the first train of thought in terms of philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Hato va prapsyasi swargam, jitva va bhokshase mahim, tasmad uttishta kaunteya, yuddhaya krita nishchayaha. The first quarter, and really this is a reminder or repetition of verse 31. Hatova, if you die, prapsyasi swargam, you will gain or go to heaven. Making this more relatable, if we try our best, we nurture quietude of mind. Having a quiet mind is heaven. When we were in the ashram and it was someone's birthday, and a student would come to Puja Guruji and say, today's my birthday, he would look at them and say, Main kya karu? Which means, what am I supposed to do about that? Because here we're learning that we are ajaha, that we're not born, and you're telling me that today's your birthday. And relatedly, when matters of change and death would come in teachings or a conversation, he would share, the worst thing that can happen to you is you'll die. And this is not the worst though. That's his implication, is that if this body dies, we have a new opportunity, a new field to keep evolving. To dismantle that fear of change and death. Jitvava, and if you win this war, bhokshase mahim, you will get to enjoy this kingdom. And focusing on this from a relative perspective, since the Pandavas were born, they have lived in oppression. Imagine a student who from year one of college is under the load of student debt. And finally, that day comes when you don't have student debt, how free you would feel. Yes? So here, I'm not even using the word enjoying, just to enjoy that relative freedom of your family not being threatened by harm, by murder. Tasmat, therefore, Uttishta Kaunteya, the son of Devi Kunti, Uttishta. What does Uttishta mean? Yes, it means to stand up. Because if you remember, Prince Arjuna, he sat down, dropped his bow and arrows, and decided not to speak. So Shri Krishna is encouraging him now to stand up. In the 27 verses of philosophy that we have studied thus far, the word tasmat has come 5 times. The main ones are in verse 25. Tasmat evam viditva, which means know this alone. In other words, know vastness. This comes again in verse 30. Tasmat sarvani bhutani, which means all beings, all of creation is changing. No change. And now, tasmat uttishta, no escaping, no procrastinating, no, as in with a K, K-N-O-W, responsibility. When we rush through Bhagavad Gita, we feel this is abstract or is jumping and thinking. But the way we're studying, this is as clear as any cooking recipe or any math problem. Systematically, words are asserted, teachings are taught. I hope you're all reading Swami Chinmayananda's commentary. I'm going to read a portion for you. The call to war is justified because of the particular situation in the Mahabharata where the Gita happens to be given out. Generalizing the call of Krishna, we may say that it is a divine call to man to discard his melancholy dejections at the face of life's challenges and to come forward to play out his best, the game of life, with a firm determination to strive and to win. In this, we have the true universality of the Gita explicitly brought out, and those who understand it can find its vast application in the community of man. This is the commentary at the end of verse 37. Again, sharing how appreciative I am of what we're doing together. We studied verses 28 to 38 in one class in the ashram. In 1 hour, Swami Tejamayana taught all of this, and he mostly taught verse 38. Verse 38, which we will explore tomorrow, is like a valedictory address. That you've completed this, now there's a transition before you take on this. It is the transition from Jnana Yoga to Karma Yoga. An amazing verse. A thought for you to reflect on today to prepare you for tomorrow. When we're in chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, there's a couple of verses that share. From dharma comes yajna. And yajna is comprised of 2 bhavas or practices, and that is arpana and prasada. Arpana means to be meaningful, and prasada means to be cheerful. These 27 verses, if there's one simple practice for you to extract, as the word dharma, swadharma is used again, is shared again, is to be more cheerful. Now you're going to ask me, but how? Number one, stop asking about how. Swami Chinmayananda just shared, you should find that application. But here is a tip: to be kinder. The more kind you are, you will find you will become more cheerful. That will help you to be more meaningful, and on and on and on. From inspiration to application, your application was to organize your notes. Verses 31 to 37 is know responsibilities. Verse 38 is the valedictory address. Verse 39 is a formal completion. And then verse 40 onwards is really preparation for chapters 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. So this is a potent section that we're in. Keep your notes organized. Your application for this morning, as we've completed day 10, we're about to complete day 10 of this semester and 130 days in the previous semester. As we're shifting to Karma Yoga, I want you to invite another seeker to be part of this community. Jnana Yoga may be less accessible to some. Karma Yoga is most universal. Invite a family member, a friend who needs this, who wants this. Imagine the service you would be offering to them. Starting tomorrow. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.